We have Oleksandr Usyk, who's been dominating the sport for such a long time, from the cruiserweight, now in the heavyweight. He's not beating guys once, but he beat him twice. Like,
that's what you've done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So undisputed versus undisputed, two different worlds collide with each other. Wow. I think, yeah, it's a crazy movie script.
Yeah, it's almost like an Avenger movie.
I mean, this is the biggest challenge ever.
Life's about challenges.
Yeah, life is about challenges and looking for things that are uncomfortable. That's where I strive on. Like the feeling that, ooh, people don't expect you to win. Yes, I love that. I love that. You do not have to give me a chance to win.
Rico Verhoeven fires a bold warning straight at Oleksandr Usyk. He is ready to destroy the champion and prove the critics wrong. Meanwhile, Rico believes the fight with Usyk is the biggest challenge of his career and insists the doubts surrounding his chances only motivate him further.
Yeah. For me, kickboxing is like a closed chapter in my life. This is the task that's ahead. So I'm not like looking too much past Oleksandr Usyk. For me, this is the biggest challenge ever.
Life's about challenges.
Yeah, life is about challenges and looking for things that are uncomfortable. That's where I strive on. Like the feeling that, ooh, people don't expect you to win. Yes, I love that. I love that. You do not have to give me a chance to win. I give myself a chance to win. And that's just up to me to prove you guys wrong.
Adding to the growing intrigue, Usyk considers Rico a serious challenge because years of competing under championship-level pressure have developed the composure and instincts that make experienced combat athletes difficult to handle inside the ring.
It's different. Within kickboxing, you get challenges. Like sometimes you just try something and sometimes you succeed and sometimes you do not. So earlier in my career, I lost some fights. And was that bad? I don't think so, because I think from the fights that I lost, I learned even more. So what you have in boxing, you have like amateur fights and you have professional fights.
At the same time, Rico views a fight with Usyk as an opportunity to test himself beyond the success he has already achieved in kickboxing. Rico suggests facing one of boxing's elite champions represents the kind of high-level challenge that continues to motivate him at this stage of his career.
I've conquered everything within the kickboxing sport. So now going out the sport, not feeling I'm done just yet, then why not take on the biggest, like the king of boxing, actually. Yeah. So I think, yeah, king versus king. I think that's the greatest, yeah, challenge I could have taken, and for me it makes a lot of sense, because I do not like to get comfortable and I'd like to challenge myself to the ultimate, and I think that's what I'm doing right now, facing this man.
On the other side, Usyk acknowledges Rico as a serious challenge and insists he is preparing for the matchup with the same level of focus he brings into every major fight. Usyk suggests his training camp has been built around adapting to Rico's style and physical attributes, while making it clear he does not expect an easy night inside the ring.
Of course, it's a tough fight. Listen, for me, doesn't matter it's a wrestler, kickboxer, or boxer. My prepare 100%. My prepare now is like same for Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois, but all my rivals. But I'm not say how. It's not good boxing. I training not hard. I more training. More do it new exercise, but sparring partner, we become sparring partner. Yes, different sparring partner who same with Rico, but we training hard every day. Oof. It's a fighter. It's dangerous guy.
Very.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but for me it's not easy walk.
Continuing the discussion, Rico embraces the opportunity to face Usyk as part of his desire to keep challenging himself at the highest level. Rico suggests stepping into a different environment against an elite opponent is the kind of test that continues to motivate him as a competitor.
Yeah, for me, it was like, why not accept the challenge? It is, like you said, he's considered arguably like one of the best boxers to ever do it. So what an honor and what an opportunity I have. I've conquered everything within the sport of kickboxing, and now getting the opportunity to do it within the sport of boxing, I love it. Like, never get comfortable.
Analyzing the matchup, Tony Bellew believes Usyk brings a level of confidence and composure that few fighters can match. Bellew argues Usyk's undefeated mentality, intense focus during face-offs, and unusual mindset make him a completely different kind of challenge, while suggesting Rico may be dealing with a fighter unlike anyone he has faced before.
Oleksandr Usyk is still undefeated. He believes nobody can beat him. Nobody has defeated him in the professional boxing ring. He's undefeated, and he enters that ring with a kind of steely look and a demeanour of, you cannot beat me. You'd even look at him in the face-offs. He refuses to move. I promise you, every single face-off he has, he does not move. He will stand there for 20 minutes. Believe you me, I tested it. I stood there for how long when I faced him, and I just thought, this is ridiculous. It's going nowhere in the end. He put a piece of paper between us, but I turned away. And I just think for Rico Verhoeven, he's never in his whole life come across somebody like Oleksandr Usyk. He's a maverick, he's a unicorn, he's a one-off.
Continuing his thoughts, Bellew views Oleksandr Usyk as approaching the fight patiently before gradually taking control as the rounds progress. Bellew argues that Usyk's ability to study reactions, disrupt positioning with subtle setups, and break opponents down strategically will eventually become too much for Rico to handle.
I think this fight will be very exciting for the 6, 7, maybe 8 rounds it goes. I think Oleksandr Usyk will not want to go in there and really, he never really goes in looks to do damage straight away and early. I think he'll have a look at Rico Verhoeven, he'll download what he's doing, he'll figure out what the feints will do to him, which side he'll draw him on, you know, he'll hit certain parts of the body. He's going to show you feints that make you do certain things and go in certain strategies and formations of which way you'll play it. Once he's downloaded all this, he'll get rid of Rico Verhoeven. He'll just have too much.
Furthermore, Teddy Atlas questions how well Rico will handle the transition into a high-level boxing matchup against Usyk. Atlas suggests the differences in boxing experience, style, and overall skill set could become difficult obstacles for Rico to overcome as the fight develops.
What's Verhoeven's chances? I think slim and none, to be honest. I looked at film on him, and yeah, he's big. He's 6'6", 270. Fury was big too, but Fury was a professional boxer. This guy, as I said, he doesn't have that background. He stands straight up. He's had 76 fights. He's won 66. He's got 26 knockouts. He's not a huge puncher. You know, his best punch is the right hand. That can be effective against the southpaw. Usyk's a southpaw. That can be the southpaw killer. I get it. It's not going to be.
Likewise, Mike Coppinger and Gabriel Rosado believe Usyk is operating at an extremely high level heading into the matchup. They argue that Usyk's conditioning, preparation, and disciplined mindset continue to separate him from most fighters, while questioning whether Rico Verhoeven possesses the overall boxing ability needed to seriously test him inside the ring.
Yeah. I haven't seen any slippage at all. I feel like and if you see the photos, it looks like Usyk put on a lot of muscle. I mean, this guy looks like a tank right now.
It's true.
Rico don't got a shot.
No shot.
Front, man. He ain't got no shot. It's ridiculous.
But what do you think? Is Usyk do you see Usyk as vulnerable?
Nah. Usyk, man, I feel like he's at his best right now. To be honest with you, it's just he's different. He's different. He takes care of himself. He preps himself properly. He's a different guy, man.
Here's the other thing, Shady. Mike Tyson was a much bigger sensation in his day than Usyk is in his day.
Yes.
Mike Tyson was much more feared and considered a more unbeatable heavyweight champion. He was in his mid-20s when he got upset by Douglas. Usyk's nearly 40. He's never captured the imagination of the public. He doesn't look invincible. And yet, if you said who would win, Usyk at his best or Tyson at his best, Tyson ain't beating Usyk.
I don't think so.
I don't even think Tyson would think he's beating.
So.
And Lennox had already been knocked out by Oliver McCall. So Lennox was known as not being chinny, but a guy who you could knock out. And Mike Tyson, in retrospect, was more like Usyk's bag is so deep. He's got the heart. He's got the chin. I don't think Usyk is a guy that you're just gonna he's susceptible to a knockout. In a certain way, I think the odds are disrespectful to Usyk because in certain ways he's less vulnerable than Lennox or Mike were.
That's true. Real quick, because I agree with you, kinda, but you said a lot there.
Adding to the discussion, Shane McGuigan argues that the difference in boxing experience and technical understanding heavily favors Usyk in the matchup. McGuigan suggests Rico could find it difficult adjusting to the demands and precision of elite-level boxing.
Yeah, I feel like there's levels to this game. As a kickboxer, he's always going to be up against the guy who's a master at boxing. I don't think he's got a chance at all.
Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn views Rico as a legitimate threat and suggests the matchup with Usyk could open major opportunities if the result goes in his favor. Hearn argues the fight could significantly raise Rico's profile in boxing.
Egypt, we're ready. We're going to have a big show in the Pyramids. Yeah, he's dangerous. He's dangerous.
He's meant to fight AJ, though, yeah.
He's what?
He's meant to fight AJ.
But listen, he beats Usyk, he fights AJ. Exactly.
On the contrary, Mike Coppinger describes the matchup as more of a crossover event than a traditional heavyweight title challenge. Coppinger argues Usyk has already established himself against the division's top names, which makes a different kind of event against Rico easier to understand at this stage of his career.
But this is a spectacle, and Usyk, like Chris said, if anybody deserves a fight where they don't have to fight the very best, it's Usyk. He's going to take a fun fight. This isn't a wrestler. He's fighting a guy that knows how to stand up. No one's suggesting that Usyk's going to lose this fight, but Usyk has effectively cleaned out the heavyweight division. You know, obviously there's a Guy Caballel there who I'm a fan of, and Fabio Wardley, but there's always going to be new guys that come around.
Expanding his thoughts, Max Kellerman believes Usyk has earned the right to take a different kind of matchup after establishing himself against the top names at heavyweight. Kellerman suggests the fight stands out because of the unusual challenge involved in facing Rico, who arrives with a championship pedigree from another combat sport.
If a guy moves up to a division, as Usyk did, as the undisputed champion, wins another undisputed, he's undisputed at heavyweight, and you beat Fury twice, Joshua twice, Dubois twice.
Right. Yep.
You are entitled to what we used to call an in-between fight, as long as you're staying active.
Yeah.
He's 38 years old, etc. So then the question becomes, in your in-between fight, is it something interesting? Right? If you're going to take a softer touch, is it something interesting? I find it just me as a human being, find it super interesting that he's fighting the undisputed kickboxing champion. As again, it's something out of Rocky 3, right? In front of the pyramids. It's interesting.
Right. Continuing the discussion, Wade Plemons acknowledges that Rico carries enough power to become dangerous if he lands cleanly. However, Wade argues Usyk has repeatedly shown the ability to outmaneuver bigger opponents through superior movement, conditioning, and technical awareness, which could make the matchup difficult for Rico as the fight develops.
If Rico lands clean, the best shot he could ever throw in his life, then yeah, Usyk should probably go down. The problem is Usyk has fought some of the bigger heavyweights in a giant heavyweight era, right? Dubois is 260. Joshua was 250 or 240. Fury was 260, 270. And I don't know what Chisora was, but all these guys were giants. And the fact that Usyk was smaller and more compact and in better shape, with better feet and better IQ, boxing, etc., he took advantage of it. He took advantage of the bigger fighter every single time.
Still, Wade questions the decision to place a heavyweight world title on the line against Rico given his limited professional boxing experience. Wade argues a reigning champion like Usyk should prioritize defending the division against established contenders rather than attaching championship stakes to a crossover matchup.
Why is the WBC heavyweight champion of the world not just taking a recess from fighting the biggest and best boxers on the planet when he is the sitting champion, but also putting his title on the line to fight a kickboxer with one professional boxing match in his career? That's the big part that really irks me. It's not that, I mean, it kind of is that Usyk is just doing this, like, whatever, okay, Usyk can go and do exhibition fights, sure, fine with me, as long as you're not putting the title up, and really, you should probably vacate the title if you're not going to defend it. But then when you include the title, and you include it's a professional boxing match that the title is on the line for, I've said so much about how dumb the sanctioning bodies are, but Mauricio Sulaiman's really outdone himself here.
Furthermore, Tony Bello suggests Rico brings dangerous physical tools and unpredictability into the matchup, despite having limited boxing experience. However, Bello argues that Usyk remains an extremely difficult fighter to break down technically, and once Usyk adjusts to Rico's movement and style, the fight could begin shifting heavily in his favor.
Rico Verhoeven is a problem. He's a problem, and we don't actually know much about him from a boxing perspective, but we know nothing really. He's had one bout and you cannot take anything from that at all. His kickboxing experience tells you an awful lot, but at the same time, Oleksandr Usyk is the problem that no one can solve. He is the puzzle that no one can figure out. And I think the same will apply to Rico Verhoeven in a boxing ring with him. If this was a kickboxing match, I'm trying to tell you, Alexander's in an awful lot of trouble. Do not take a kick off him. Thankfully for Oleksandr Usyk, this is a boxing match. And I think once them first 3 or 4 rounds pass and that awkwardness and stance and style Oleksandr Usyk figures out, I think Rico could be in for a hard night's work.
Further intensifying the discussion, Gabriel Rosado expects Usyk to approach the fight with complete focus and professionalism rather than underestimating Rico. Rosado argues that Usyk's disciplined mindset and experience at the highest level make him unlikely to lose control of the fight or give Rico unnecessary opportunities.
I don't think Usyk is the kind of guy to take a guy lightly.
No, he's not.
I think he's not going to step into this fight with Rico and play with his food.
Yeah, nah.
That's the mistake that Fury had did when he fought Ngannou, where he took him lightly and then they went the distance.
And got dropped.
Usyk don't do that.
He gonna take care of business.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on real fast, real quickly. He gonna take care of that.
Meanwhile, Luke Thomas gives Rico credit for his accomplishments, physical ability, and long combat sports career. However, Thomas suggests facing Usyk inside a boxing ring presents a completely different level of difficulty because of Usyk's proven dominance at heavyweight.
Now, of course, Rico is a good athlete, phenomenal kickboxer, hard puncher. He's got more than 50 pro bouts in kickboxing. The guy is experienced and, deserves some respect. But we don't have to be naive about his chances against the best heavyweight that, has been around in the last, 20 years, maybe, something like that. It strains credulity to even think such a thing could end up happening.
From another perspective, Chris Arreola acknowledges that Rico brings natural size, toughness, and extensive combat sports experience into the matchup, despite the differences between kickboxing and boxing. However, Arreola still expects Usyk to create a clear separation once the fight settles into a pure boxing contest.
What are your thoughts about this?
First of all, you can't teach size. You can't teach 6'5", 270. You can't teach that, all right? Second of all, whether it's kickboxing or boxing, he still has a pedigree of fighting. He knows what it's like to get hit, and those kicks ain't no joke. I'd rather get punched than kicked. Right. So he must have a good chin or good body work. So I'm looking forward just to see what Usyk could do against a lesser opponent. He probably should end up within 2 to 3 rounds.
Right. Moreover, Rico insists his unfamiliar style and approach could create problems that Usyk has rarely encountered inside a boxing ring. Rico argues that despite Usyk's preparation and experience at the highest level, the differences in rhythm, movement, and overall approach could become an important factor in the matchup.
Tyson win is good. I look first 6 round, Yeah. I don't remember, maybe 4, maybe 5 rounds. Mahmoudov like a punch Tyson. I said, oh, be careful. Like a second punch. Whoa, Tyson, hands up, please. Listen, congrats, great, good back. It's normal. I heard Tyson say, hey, I want a trilogy.
Furthermore, Rico suggests much of the attention around the matchup has centered on traditional boxing expectations. Rico insists there are still parts of his game that people are overlooking and believes the fight will allow him to reveal a different dimension to his approach.
That's the surprise. So what an opportunity we have, right? So let everybody look at the boxing and everybody like, hey, let's zoom in on that. And that's all we do. That's one side of the story. And the 23rd of May, I will show the other side.
What an introduction into boxing to fight
As the anticipation around Rico Verhoeven versus Oleksandr Usyk continues to grow, the conversation now revolves around whether Rico's size, combat sports experience, and unconventional style can create problems that Usyk has not recently faced inside the ring. Many still view Usyk's movement, ring IQ, and ability to adapt under pressure as the key difference in the matchup, but Rico remains fully convinced he can bring a new kind of challenge into the fight and force the champion into uncomfortable situations. At the same time, the stakes surrounding the matchup continue getting bigger as both fighters embrace the opportunity to test themselves in a completely different environment. So now the question shifts to the fans. Can Rico Verhoeven pull off a major upset and shock the boxing world? Or will Oleksandr Usyk once again prove why he is considered one of the most complete fighters of this generation? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more boxing analysis, fight breakdowns, and the latest combat sports updates here on the channel.